For all your photo, video, and voiceover needs, check out the fine folks at Blueberry Productions. They will take good care of you. If you don't believe me, you can see for yourself. Check out their work at blueberryproductions.tv, the Facebook page, Blueberry Productions, also a Vimeo page, a YouTube page, and it's Blueberry, BLUBERRY, Prod on Twitter. Check them out today. Blueberry Productions, great people, great work, great service.
Fantasy football season is fast approaching, and if you're looking for an edge this season, you need to contact the guys at Draft Day Consultants. The concept is a simple one. Draft Day Consultants takes your requests and connects you with one of their trusted analysts, who then guide you through your draft. Whether you just need a sounding board on decisions, or if you need them to conduct your entire draft, Draft Day Consultants has you covered. Every one of their consultants has a proven track record of success and have conducted hundreds, even thousands of mock drafts. Thanks to this year-round research and analysis, the guys at DDC have an unmatched understanding of player values. So gain an edge on your league mates this season by hitting up draftdayconsultants.com. That's www.draftdayconsultants.com. Now get after it, fantasy footballers.
Hip-hop fans, I got a great album for you. The debut album from Family Grind ENT, True Speech and 313 Fresh. We're going to use 2 discs, 33 songs of pure, genuine hip-hop. Albums available on iTunes, Amazon, Google Play, illstreetrex.com, and streaming live right now on Rhapsody, Beats Music, Spotify, Xbox Music, Slacker Radio, and SoundCloud. Check them out today. True Speech and 313 Fresh. Family Grind ENT. Believe in it. Get it. The Bossman Show with John Beckler. We got a great show for you this week. Got my man Tony T-Bone with us on the line with us. We got Jim Ross, WWE Hall of Famer on the show with us, and boxer WBA, WBC, WBU doing this thing. Rock Blackwell on the show, plus the Boss Report. So we got a great show for you this week. And on the line with us right now, top of the show, our man talking Knicks and Giants, beat writer from Metro New York, the one and only Tony T-Bone Williams. Bone, what's good, bro?
Hey, it's all well over here. I'm glad to be on the show, and I'm honored to share some time on the same show that'll have Jim Ross on later on. So that's great.
Yes, indeed. You're his warm-up act. There you go. So, man, I got to talk to you, man. Looking at the Knicks offseason moves, man, and the draft and free agency so far, do you feel the Knicks have improved any and made themselves halfway better this offseason? How's your offseason so far?
Well, it depends on who you ask. If you ask a hardcore, long-suffering Knicks fan, they'll say that the summer was a bust and it's awful. But if you look at it a little deeper at the talent they acquired, they have guys who fit more into what they want to do. They have guys that fit triangle that fill. So he's a bad to run the offense so badly. The kid Kristaps Porzingis is a great fit in that triangle because he is kind of like that Paul Gasol, a hybrid of team Paul Gasol and Dirk Nowitzki. I mean, he has all the tools to be a great player in his league one day. And you add a guy like a Derek Williams, the free agency, he's an athletic power forward, and you add a kid like Jerry Grant who traded with Atlanta Hawks. I mean, they added some pretty good pieces. What they're doing is trying to build through the draft and build through some small-time free agent guys. And so far, it's all through, all through Phil's eyes, his vision.
Well, speaking of Phil Jackson, just give us a little bit of the opinion that you have on his job so far since he's been named president of the Knicks. How do you feel he's doing?
I mean, it's incomplete. That's all he can say right now. I mean, I don't think it's terrible because he didn't inherit a whole lot, honestly. And then when your best player goes down with a knee injury almost immediately in the season, I mean, he really didn't have much of work with this year. He saw writing on the wall early. He knew he had to tank it early, and he did that. And so he got rid of guys who didn't want to be there or who didn't fit, and now he's doing what he wants to do in his own eyes. So I would say it's incomplete, but I see the vision kind of unfolding a little bit.
Yeah, getting rid of Shump and J.R. Smith and all those guys seem to take the top of the team a little bit, so the guys can actually learn and play and not be quote unquote misled or misguided by J.R. Swish and Shump's attitudes. What you feel about that, Bone?
Yeah, I agree with that. But that's the one thing I think Phil noticed almost immediately, that there were certain guys who didn't want to be here or didn't want to run in Phil's way. So, I mean, a guy like Shump, he regressed a lot over that year while he was here on the field. He definitely regressed. And JR just wasn't his thing he was a few years ago. So, I mean, how did he change? How did he change coming? The only thing I didn't understand was the whole thing with Hudson Chandler and kind of throwing him under the bus and trading him out of there. But other than that, I do believe that it was the best move to get rid of JR and Shump.
And at what point do you see Phil exiting stage left? I don't see him finishing that 5-year deal out.
I'm sorry, I can't do that. I'm sorry.
Now, I'm saying, at what point do you see Phil Jackson exiting stage left? I don't see him finishing that contract out the 4 or 5 years.
There's no way that Phil's staying all 5 years. And Phil even said so for himself a while ago, earlier in the season, where he said that his plan is ultimately to do what he had to do to get this ship going right away and then hand over to Steve Mills. I really can't see him staying the whole 5 years. I would say I said over under is 3, and I may take the over slightly.
Okay, Bone, so with that being said, as the roster is currently constructed, who do you feel will step up and show us, a little bit of something extra next season?
I got to say, of all the guys, a newcomer, I like the fit with Jerry and Grant. I think he's going to be an excellent guard, a lead guard, because he's a bigger point guard with Phil likes. He's about 6'3", so he has all the intangibles. He's a good scorer, a good defender. I like that kid coming under the radar and actually shocking the fans.
Yes, indeed, folks. We're joined by our man, Tony T-Bone Williams, Metro New York beat writer, Knicks and the Giants. Talking Knicks with him right now. Going to cover Giants in a minute. With all we just covered so far, ultimately, Bone, are the Knicks a high lottery team, a mid lottery team, or a low lottery team after what they've done this offseason?
I mean, well, the Eastern Conference is still up in the air. So, I mean, if they don't get at least, I would think they're still probably on the cusp, on the way out of the Eastern Conference. So they're still within that lottery range. They're kind of in a purgatory because they don't have great talent to win and get in Eastern Conference playoffs. They don't have lack of talent in order to be a lottery team. They're kind of in between.
Well, let's switch it over, to the Giants, as JR just alluded to. They had a situation with JPP. So in your years of covering teams as a beat writer, Bone, have you ever seen or heard anything that's quite as crazy as the story going on with Pierre-Paul?
No, I haven't, but it is so JPP of him to be involved in this because he just doesn't get it, and he don't think he'll ever will. And the fact of the matter is he had the contract on the table to go long-term, and he haggled over the prices, and then he goes out and does this stunt, and now the offer is pulled. So he's kind of in purgatory himself because he has nowhere to go. He either plays that tender of the franchise tag of $14.8 million, or he hangs the whole year out. I mean, it was just so getting to your Paul. Honestly, it was.
Yes, indeed. I agree with you totally. And from being around the Giants as much as you have, what's the organization's general sentiment about JPP throughout the organization now and before this incident?
Well, I tell you, he is still a beloved figure among the players, the coaches. He's kind of that puppy that always wets the carpet, and he just means well. He's just like a good kid, but just doesn't really get it. So that's a real thing. It's a maturity thing. Guys know how immature he is, but at the end of the day, he's a talented player, and so they'll deal with it and hope he finally gets it. And I hope this fireworks scare finally gives him the light bulb to on.
Well, and when does the organization expect him to show up, sign his tender, and then, after the season, what kind of deal do you expect him to be able to secure from the Giants?
Well, I think production solves everything. I think that as long as he produces like he did last year, at the end of the year, he was on fire. I mean, he led the team in sacks, I think 12.5 last year. I think 9 of those came in like the last month of the season. So he was on fire at the end of the season. So if that continues, he will get paid regardless, either by the Giants or someone else. So it's just a matter of him producing on the field. Because if you're a good player, a team will always find a way to get you on a roster.
And Bone, we head to training camp real shortly for the Giants. What's some position battles we need to look for on the Giants roster? And what are some young guys that may make a move and push a veteran out from watching them being on the team this summer and offseason OTAs and what have you?
Yeah, I think the biggest storyline other than JPP is what happens after him, because he's the primary pressure on that defense. They have a kid named Devin Kennard, who's a strong side backer, who is incredible. He destroyed the Titans last year all by himself. He's an incredible talent, but it's only in his second year. Can he pick up the slack to offset JPP or increase their defense and JPP come back to form? They have a new coordinator, Steve Agnola, who was there before, so they have some familiarity with him, but they need to find a way to get more pressure outside of pure ball because they don't really have that. So I look for guys like Devin Kennard. I look for a guy like Kerry Wynn on the defensive end. I look for a guy like Dr. Moore, another end who's kind of been up and down so far in his career. So they need the youth guys to come up and play above their means.
True that. Well, Bone, thank you as always, my brother. We had to get caught up with you. I ain't talked to you in a few months, so we had to get caught up. Thank you as always for your Knicks and Giants knowledge. And folks, always me on Twitter at TBone8. Bone, thank you, brother. We'll talk to you real soon, man.
My pleasure, guys. Take care of yourselves.
All right, now, that was our man, Tony T-Bone Williams on the Bossman Show, breaking down the Knicks and the Giants. Coming up next, WWE Hall of Famer Jim Ross is going to be a slobber knocker on the Bossman Show. All your photo, video, and voiceover needs, check out the fine folks at Blueberry Productions. They will take good care of you. If you don't believe me, you can see for yourself. Check out their work at blueberryproductions.tv, the Facebook page, Blueberry Productions, also a Vimeo page, a YouTube page, and it's Blueberry, BLUBERRY, Prod on Twitter. Check them out today. Blueberry Productions, great people, great work, great service.
Fantasy football season is fast approaching, and if you're looking for an edge this season, you need to contact the guys at Draft Day Consultants. The concept is a simple one. Draft Day Consultants takes your requests and connects you with one of their trusted analysts, who then guide you through your draft. Whether you just need a sounding board on decisions, or if you need them to conduct your entire draft, Draft Day Consultants has you covered. Every one of their consultants has a proven track record of success and have conducted hundreds, even thousands of mock drafts. Thanks to this year-round research and analysis, the guys at DDC have an unmatched understanding of player values. So gain an edge on your league mates this season by hitting up draftdayconsultants.com. That's www.draftdayconsultants.com. Now get after it, fantasy footballers.
Hip-hop fans, I got a great album for you. The debut album from Family Grind ENT, True Speech and 313 Fresh. We're going to give you 2 discs, 33 songs of pure, genuine hip-hop. Albums available on iTunes, Amazon, Google Play, illstreetrex.com, and streaming live right now on Rhapsody, Beats Music, Spotify, Xbox Music, Slacker Radio, and SoundCloud. Check them out today, True Speech and 313 Fresh, Family Grind ENT. Believe in it, get it.